So I've got a whole lot going on here at this point with the A500. The keyboard that we set up to be an internal keyboard in the last video is attached. I've added just some random LEDs here out of my junk box. I believe it's power and disk activity on the green, though I'm not sure. I've got the Atari ST floppy back in, which is compatible enough that the system would boot from it before it's hooked up. I've got this tank mouse that I acquired that's untested, hooked up. So there's a whole lot of stuff here that could not be right. I'm hooked up to that up converter that we used before to an LCD screen here that you can't see behind me. And I guess let's just dive in, turn the power on, and hope for the best. So I'm assuming at this point the A500 board still works. It's been on and off the bench a number of times untested. Power's on. That seems to be a good sign. I believe I have a white screen there. I hear the floppy drive making some noise. It's asking for the Amiga workbench disk, and in this case it doesn't see disk change on this drive. I don't seem to be able to restart. Was I seeing the caps lock key flash there? That was kind of weird. So I'm not surprised by that because I don't think this keyboard's set up to cause a restart that way. So let's leave the floppy in and restart here. Power up. It's accessing the floppy drive. The heads are stepping. Well, this is a good sign that it's at least trying. Well, the mouse works. I actually have a moving mouse pointer on the screen. So we know the tank mouse is at least functional. It's nice to have a second mouse. This tank mouse has got a large right angle connector on it and doesn't fit on the back of my, don't think it fits on the back of the 1200. I don't think there's enough clearance. I'd have to check. But with the boards raised here on just some plastic boxes, I've got enough room for that cable. You can't see it back here. It's still booting Workbench. It's at 1.3. What I want to get is CLI open here, or Command Shell, and just see if anything from the keyboard is coming through. So Workbench release 372K of memory. I've opened up the Work Shell folder. There's the shell. I've opened up shell. Oh yes, I'm seeing characters. So very nice, very nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, dash. The backspace is working. That shift key is working. That shift key is working. That tab is producing a character. UWERTY. So far so good. UIOP bracket A, caps lock A. Yep, that caps lock is working. S D F G H J K L semicolon. I can't see what the character is, double quote, but that key is working. Z, X, oh, mouse pointer's in the way. C, V, B, N, M, comma, period, slash. That's excellent. The up and down arrows are working to go through all the garbage I've just typed in. I can move the cursor around, so all of those keys are working. I think we have hopefully a fully functional keyboard. 4, 5, 6 plus 1, 2, 3 enter 0, 0. Every key on the keyboard that I can test seems to be working. I can't test the function keys, but in the command shell, escape is producing a character. Really sweet. So where we are now is this is actually, you know, we looked at this cable build in the last video for the A500. I kind of guessed then it was a Amiga 500 keyboard just put into that external case, and it appears to be the case. I really wonder if this missing Q1 down here is part of the reset, is used to pull that reset pin low. I may drop a 2N3904 in there, just a little NPN transistor, to see if that works. There is an unused jumper link here, but I think it's just parallel to that jumper link. I don't think it does anything special. I'm pretty psyched. So with this in this condition, I'm going to go ahead and power off. And we're going to try something else here. So this is going to be kind of a doubled up video. So I ordered these floppy adapters for the Amiga. And what this does is sit between a regular PC floppy and the Amiga. I got enough cable length to do this, and the Amiga to generate the signals that are required. So I'm going to do a bit of digging here for cables. See if I can find the cables I'm looking for. So we're going to do a bit of a transplant here. Hopefully most of this is on camera. I'm going to remove the power that I've currently got ran to this drive. I'm going to go ahead and try this first with the ST floppy, just to see if it'll recognize disk change. That's really weird. Did I have this on the drive upside down? No. It's not keyed the direction I think it should be. Well, it's got a pin 1 mark there. Kind of confused by this. This seems wrong to me. Maybe it isn't. I'll grab the ohm meter here in a second and just take a peek. If I've got the floppy cable on backwards, I will see a dead short across this front row of pins here, and I do. So that tells me the cable's on backwards for whatever reason. So I need to reverse the cable over here on the Amiga. Just means I had pin 1 on the cable in the wrong orientation. So what I should see now is this. I know on this set of pins, the even pins shouldn't all be grounded. These pins back here are all connected. These are I believe the odd pins that are all grounds. Why am I still seeing short? So what have I got backwards here? Does this actually end up going in on this drive, this orientation? This is kind of weird. I see. So on the ST drive, the indexing notch is actually up, and on a standard PC drive, it's down, and that's why everything seems backwards here. So let me go back and put this together upside down. Now, of course, that's not upside down. Again, you got to be careful with this stuff and verify. Hopefully now, well, I don't know. Back row pins are all tied together on the drive, so they'll be fine. Okay, the front row pins aren't shorted, so I think that's functional. I don't know if this drive requires the 12-volt rail for the motors or if it's a 5-volt only drive in the ST. I've got this little short power cable here that's going to be too short to reach. I need to go back to this kludge that I built here. I don't know what to expect here, whether this will actually detect the disk change or not. Flip the drive over so it's upright. Let's see what we get. I haven't seen the floppy drive react at all, which says to me the floppy drive probably needs 12 volts to operate. Maybe not. I hear the motor spinning. So this could be drive select, because I think this is set to drive 0, and for PC it needs to be set, I think that's drive 1. No. I'm actually not too surprised this doesn't work, because the ST drive's got the kind of odd pinout as compared to a PC. So let's just try a PC drive. I have no idea if this is a good drive. It just came out of a random junk pile. This is what this board is designed to do, is sit between a regular PC drive. I think I've got a cable on upside down. Crap. I didn't check first. Oh, damn it. I should have checked first. Yep, I've got pin 1 down here is actually to the right. I had the cable on. Okay, something seems wrong. Oh, I find this infuriating, and that there's no keys to, and that the standards are different depending on the drive. And which row of pins here? Oh yeah, the connector's flipped over, so the front row would be all the grounds. It would be opposite what I saw on the Atari drive. Where's the OS floppy? Sorry I'm mixing so much stuff up in one video. But you're getting to see it all tested live with me. I think it's actually reading the floppy. It is. So that's actually reading from this NEC floppy drive. I'll be curious to see if I can get this change to work. Yes, this is a cabling kludge. Still booting, still have a mouse that works. We're to the workbench. Let me eject the floppy. See if it detects it eject. It didn't seem to see it eject. Oh, there it is. It sees Arkanoid mounted. So sweet. So it is actually seeing a disk change, which is part of what that board's supposed to do. Arkanoid went away. Put the workbench floppy back in. Sweet. So the one thing we haven't tested yet is audio on the E500. We did recap it, but I'm going to go ahead and restart to boot Arkanoid. Don't know if I can actually just run it here or if I need to boot the machine. Unnamed folder. with nothing in it. I think I need to reboot the machine, and because I don't have a reset that works, I'll cycle the power. I haven't tried Orconite on this machine here. It should run just fine on it. It's certainly loading something. Oh, geez, I apologize. I just bumped the camera rig. Trying to move one of the lights out of the way. I've got lights that hang off the camera rig. Sorry for all the swimming video. So I don't have audio on here, so I have no idea if the audio is working. We did recap this machine, so it should have new caps in the output. I believe it's there. It is. This is the Orconite splash screen. It was cracked, compacted, adapted for PAL Amigas. This floppy was created from an ADF file using the Amiga Workbench, or Amiga Explorer, I think that's what it's called, on a PC. And there's the splash screen explaining the game. And I just picked round 20 as my starting round. And by golly, we're playing Arkanoid. And I'm sucking at it. Well, I think I will wrap... Why do we not have power LEDs? That's kind of weird. Is that normal? I think I will wrap this segment up. Definitely made progress on the keyboard, as you saw. We tested the keys. We know this cable I built works. We know the guessing I did that this was just an A500 keyboard seems to be true. Anything else to hit here in this video? Probably not. We took a look at this little adapter card. I got a couple of them. I, at the moment, don't remember who I got these from. See if I can read the silkscreen here on the board just to give him a shout out, since for a quick test that does seem to work. These are from Floppy controller by Ian Stedman, I believe, S-T-E-D-M-A-N. I know they come someplace out of Europe. It took them a while to get here. I believe I ordered them from his website. I haven't seen these particular ones on eBay. There's longer ones available. This is using all surface mount. I went with these just because it was shorter. And the odds of this fitting into an external case were better. But by Ian, I-A-N, S-T-E-D-M-A-N, I believe. Got two of them. We've seen one work here. This change, etc. works, so that's kind of sweet. I've already talked about the keyboard seems to be working. The Amiga 500 has stayed operational. So sweet. Pretty happy. Okay, one more thing to add. I just on a whim went ahead. That was a god-awful noise. Power supply squealing. I went ahead and added a 2N3904 transistor here in the spot where it seemed like there should be a transistor there, and based on the bit of research I did, under the assumption that that would hopefully allow me to reset, and by golly it does. Control Amiga, it actually resets the machine. So the guess that that was part of the reset circuit was left out because you couldn't do a remote reset from the external keyboard. It was a good guess. It's just, they left it out for price control. And of course the LEDs aren't there because they're not needed, even though the two dropper resistors for the LEDs up here were there. So really this will be get the right LEDs to go in here for the Amiga 500 case, if I can find them, and go from there. I'm actually really pleased that this has come together and this keyboard has actually worked out. So anyhow, I just thought I'd add that here on the end. 2N3904 dropped in there. There's enough silkscreen to indicate the orientation, the flat of the transistors to the right. It's just a standard 2N3904. Looking at the pinout, the collector goes to ground, and there's a large copper pore on this side here that's labeled ground, so of course that confirmed the orientation of the device. So anyhow, I thought I'd add that rather than do a separate video, and we'll talk soon.